Welcome to the MS&Me Radio Network, a division of the Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network. The following program broadcast is an original creation by the broadcast entity. Discussion within the following broadcast should be used for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice or consultation. Before considering application of any broadcast content in the following program, please consult your healthcare provider. If you feel you are having a medical emergency, please contact your local health services for immediate assistance. MS&Me Media and the Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network do not guarantee or warrant the accuracy of information in the broadcast to follow. The Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network provisions broadcast services to program hosts. Information discussed in the broadcast does not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, or goals of the network and are solely those of the show broadcast host. Should you wish to host a broadcast, please visit our website at msmemedia.com and submit a request to become a program host. We thank you for listening to the MS&Me Radio Network. Enjoy the show.
Hi, this is Kelly Alderton, and this is my second broadcast on the MS&Me Radio Network, and I'm thrilled to be a part of this great collaboration of people all in different journeys with their MS, and I'm so happy that it's available 24/7, so anytime someone wants to plug in and get some nuggets of information or support, they have that available right here on the MS&Me Radio Network. Now, last week was my premiere broadcast, and I talked a little bit about my journey with MS. I have been living with MS now going on 30 years, and in 1988 I was diagnosed with relapsing remitting MS. I had optic neuritis and aches and pains throughout my body, and I lived my life for the first 13 years of that diagnosis going with traditional and really the regular medical protocols for MS. Back then, they really didn't push disease-modifying therapies on us. They would just deal with our symptoms as they popped up. They would just deal with our relapses as they came up, and that was usually with steroids, maybe a pain med, maybe something for vertigo, something to help anxiety or depression, something to help with you, being able to sleep or help you stay up and things like that. So it was really a different spin on the whole process of MS at that point. In 1999 was my last hospitalization for MS when I had a drop foot. Now, in 1999, my doctors told me that I needed to start deciding on what disease-modifying therapy that I should go on. And like I shared last week, I really didn't know which one to go on. But my twin sister, Kim, who also was diagnosed with MS just a year after me, she was also looking at those therapies at the same time, and she jumped right into them, got on almost, all the ABC drugs to really see what would help her, and they just kept switching because nothing was working for her. So I was watching Kim and waiting for her symptoms to get better, waiting for her quality of life to get better, and I just didn't see that. And it never came to fruition to her to have the MS drugs work for her. In fact, she was sick all the time, strep throat, tonsillitis, you name it. She caught it and she had it, obviously, because the MS drugs suppress our immune system. So while I watched her go through that, I was kind of in a panic because this was all the doctors were saying we could do at that point, get on a DMT so we could treat our MS. And of course, seeing what she was going through, it just wasn't going to work for me. So I had to find a different way. Well, in 2001, I got involved with the Green Products Healthy Living Company, thanks to my sister Jody. And I was introduced to some great people. I was introduced to people who thought healthy, they lived a healthy life, they knew about diet and nutrition and green products, and it was a whole different spin of anything that I ever knew about. In that company, I was introduced to a holistic doctor who really taught me or told me of a different path to go on to beat MS. And yes, he said you could beat MS. And that was shocking to me. No doctor ever told me that, but he told me it was a vitamin deficiency. And at first I was really skeptical, and I didn't want to believe him because my doctors never told me that. And I've been dealing with doctors all around the world, in Germany, then back in Colorado, then in Illinois, and they never told me I could heal. They never told me I could find a healthier way to deal with my MS. So I did follow that plan, and it was life-changing. Every day I was feeling stronger and stronger. And I don't say that lightly, because back in 2001, at that time, I was taking 2 to 3 naps a day, had no quality of life. And for any of you out there also suffering from chronic fatigue, it's really like an out-of-body experience. You just don't feel like yourself. You don't feel like doing anything. I mean, I could get up and then, maybe eat breakfast or do a few things, and then I would want to go back to bed. I was just so exhausted. So I know some of you out there are understanding what I'm talking about, but also how desperate I was to find an alternative, to find a way to be healthy. And so when I finally decided I'd no longer go the traditional medical route for treating my MS, I started searching for things that could help create and support a healthy body that I really desperately needed. So I focused on ways to help me de-stress, repair, energize, align, and really balance my body. And I was so focused on finding these approaches that would make me stronger physically and mentally. And we have to think about that when we're focusing on healing or focusing on our journey with MS. We have to take a whole body approach. And I always say, look at the mind, body, and spirit, because they're all interconnected. You can't be good in one spot and then bad in another spot and hope to beat MS or hope to be healthy. And so what I found restored my health, my vitality, and I really do believe that it saved my life. And all of this information that I'm sharing today, it's been around for many years. And some of the therapies I've been using, some have been around for thousands of years, and I kind of said, gosh, only if I would have known. But that's the great thing about this journey. We can all work together. We can share information and really help each other out. And I just keep saying the same thing, that I'm so grateful and blessed that these people came to me and told me there was another way. So I also hope to be a blessing to other people on their own journey with MS. Now, in this process, I have kind of compiled my journey and my protocols that I've been utilizing in a book. It's called Waking Up from MS, My Journey to Health, Healing, and Living Symptom-Free. And the funny thing about that book was I kept on talking to people individually, and they said, don't you have this stuff put together? And I never had it all put together. And in fact, it took me 5 years to write this book. And for some authors out there, maybe you think that's a lot of time. Maybe some of you think that's just a little bit of time. But the bottom line for that book was that it was something straight from my heart. And I wanted it to be a blessing to others. And I wanted to give as much beneficial information as I possibly could in this book. And so I would write and add stuff and take stuff away and add stuff and take stuff away. I was literally making my head spin because I wanted it to be so precise and so beneficial. And finally, my friend Myra said, just finish it. Just finish it. Stop writing. You could, if there's more information, you could do another book, but you can check out my book talking about my 30-year journey and my protocols. That's on Amazon. And we're going to talk today a little bit about some things that I talk to people about. I'm talking to different MS sufferers really around the globe on a daily basis. And the first things that I always ask them is, what are you doing to help your MS? Are you supporting a healthy immune system? Are you supporting a healthy central nervous system? We know that's all connected. Are you supporting a healthy lifestyle? And we have to be so mindful of everything around us since living with MS. I mean, it's important anyways to live a healthy lifestyle, but having MS and having issues that we're having on a daily basis, we have to be especially mindful, of the things we eat, the things we absorb, the things we breathe in, just our whole environment if we want to beat MS, if we want to be healthy and whole. And so first, like I said, I started treating my MS as a vitamin deficiency, and I started Now, back when I started in 2001, there wasn't all this information about how important vitamin D was. Now we know that vitamin D3 is so beneficial for turning around MS. In fact, in some countries, they're actually, in some countries that are having high groups or high rates of MS, they're actually starting babies on supplementing for vitamin D to just kind of, hold it off at the pass, make sure people aren't getting MS at all. So it's very interesting. We have overwhelming evidence of the benefits of vitamin D. In fact, it's, when you have a lack of sunny days, which we do now. I live in the Midwest at Chicago. Now we have more, we're going to have more cloudy, rainy, snowy days than sunny days. And that seems to be an issue, really for us in the Midwest and in certain countries. When we look at the UK, we looked at, at Ireland, again, they'll have higher pockets of MS sufferers because they're farther away from the sun. They're not able to get out into the sun. And it's interesting when you look at MS and other conditions that can arrive or really happen because of a vitamin D deficiency. It's not only MS, it's autism, heart disease, psoriasis, cancer, depression, RA. I mean, the list goes on. And as they research and study, they're finding out that so many conditions can be healed or treated or cured by having optimal levels of vitamin D. Speaking of vitamin D, I do get a blood panel several times a year to check all my vitamin levels. Especially I want to see where that vitamin D is and make sure my levels are up high enough to support my body and to support my healthy lifestyle. So, that's something that you can have your GP give you, your neurologist can order it as well. But I always say that's really the first thing we should do when we're looking at a healthier lifestyle and living with our MS. Another important vitamin is vitamin B, B1, thiamine. It helps our central nervous system. And you can get this in supplement form. You can also get it in your own food, when we start to look at spinach and flax, things like that. So there's other ways to get it. Vitamin C is so beneficial. That's great for our, chronic fatigue. And we can get that through, again, a supplement. I take a liposomal C. It's a liquid. I take that and I just swear by it. And you can also get that in your foods. You can get it from salmon, grass-fed beef, bananas, things like that. So that's something that's really easy to get to as well. We also can look at B6 and B12. They're going to help rebuild our nerves, our nerve cells and our nerve endings and help our nervous system. And then another important supplement is the omega-3s, and we can of course get that from fatty fish, but a lot of people, maybe if they don't like fish, they can go with a supplement on that as well. And I really believe that you have to look at a few other things when you're looking at dealing with your MS. We want to rebuild the myelin in our brains. And the good news is we can do that. You can rebuild the myelin just by eating certain supplements and certain foods. And they're sharing more and more information on that. Doctors are really trying to study that. And again, just by using a lot of the supplements I already talked about, the vitamin D, the vitamin B12, vitamin K2, zinc, folate, vitamin C. These are all things that will help rebuild the myelin sheath. And you know what I love is that our body was made to heal. It just was. You weren't meant to be sick. And I say this a lot, that we weren't born with MS. Something was off in our bodies, and we have to figure out what it was and what it is so we can heal. And that doesn't mean just there's going to be a quick fix to this. So just know that. Just know if you're deciding to deal with your MS in a more holistic or natural way, that it's not a quick fix, because we don't know what causes MS, right? No doctor will tell you specifically, this is what gave you MS. Is it vascular? Is it a vitamin deficiency? Is it from past traumas? Is it from head traumas in the past? Is it from not having a healthy diet? Is it from an environmental toxin? We really don't know what the basis or what's at the core or the root cause for our condition. So this is why everybody has to try different things and see what works for them best. My journey with MS is not your journey, or my sister's journey is not my journey. Everybody is different, and we have to look at varied things, and there are so many things we can do just to start getting healthy again. And if you start focusing on that mindset that you're looking at things to get healthy, it will really help you. Now, some of the alternative therapies that I did was chiropractic care. I got with my chiropractor, Dr. Kelly, back in 2001 timeframe, and it really was such a benefit right away. And the great thing about chiropractic care, it's proactive instead of reactive. I mean, they're not using drug therapy. It focuses on the flow of energy through our body and aligning our neck and our spine. And that was something that just felt amazing for me right away for a couple of reasons. One, I was in a car accident before and I had whiplash, and I also had poor posture. I'm a chronic sloucher. And so the chiropractic care really helped me. And it was so interesting. It made me feel just better. It made me feel stronger. And the chiropractic care is really going to help your immune system as well. And it's going to stimulate your immune system, which is something that I've always talked about, is that I feel you have to heal that immune system if we want to be healthy. Also, when I was going to the chiropractor, I was introduced to acupuncture. Now, at first I was kind of scared because, we have these little needles, but what I found is that I was so energized after I had acupuncture. And acupuncture really focuses on stimulating specific areas in our skin and helps the flow of energy throughout our body, through all those different meridians. And I was so excited when I started doing that because it was actually taking some of my fatigue away, and I just felt better. And when I talked to my neurologist about acupuncture specifically, he said, forget it, don't do it. And he kept on urging me not to do acupuncture. And I said, why? And he said, because you're going to stimulate your immune system. And I said, but don't I want to stimulate my immune system to be healthy? And he said, we're not worried about that right now. And so to me, that was a huge red flag. And I have to say, that is the last time that I saw that doctor, because also in that conversation, I had talked to him about supplementing. He again warned me against supplementing because he said, you're going to stimulate your immune system. So I was definitely aware at that point that him and I were not on the same page. I was wanting to focus on healing, and he just was not focusing on that. He wanted me to get on a DMD. He wanted me to get on some kind of drug therapy to do so, and I just couldn't follow that plan anymore. So when I decided to go with holistic and alternative treatments, I just said, I'm all in, and I'm going to do everything possible to heal my body. And we know there's science that backs that up, just with chiropractic care and acupuncture. And another thing that I did was meditation. Meditation is something that was very hard for me to do. But I went with my girlfriends, Tammy and Myra, and we went to a training called Breakthrough to Success with Jack Canfield. Jack Canfield is, the #1 success coach, founder of the Chicken Soup for the Soul books, which, that's like $1 billion company. And when we were in that training, he talked to us about meditating and how you'll become really more attuned with yourself. Really, that's a time to introspect and look inside, something that I don't think I really focused on. And he really taught us that when you meditate, it's going to help you become calm and centered, and it's going to help you de-stress. It also builds up your immunity. It helps with your sleep. I mean, it's really a fantastic thing to do. Now, a lot of people might say, I can't meditate because I just can't shut my mind off. But there are plenty of things online. You can go on YouTube and just look for anything specific that you're maybe looking for. Maybe a quick meditation on mindfulness or health and healing or for de-stressing. And they have ones for, 4 minutes. They have some that are hours long. But you can pick and choose and really find out what's going to work best for you. But I know meditation is such a benefit that you definitely want to try it out and really see what it's going to do for you, and just focus on that. Another thing that I focused on was massage. I love massage. I like just the Swedish light massage because I'm there for relaxation and blood flow. And the great thing about massage is that it's going to lower your blood pressure. It's going to reduce your chronic pain, reduce swelling. It's going to help relax your whole body. It calms your whole nervous system down, gets that blood flowing, it reduces stress. It's actually going to help you sleep better. If for those of you who are having trouble sleeping, it helps with your mental relaxation and also concentration. And when we talk about massage, it also has emotional benefits. It reduces anxiety, and it really gives you a sense of well-being, being an emotional growth. And as you start massage, you'll understand what I'm talking about. It just is like so well-rounded. I feel fabulous. And the great thing about massage is when you're in the massage, when you're laying on that table, you can do some meditation there because it's nice and peaceful and quiet. And really that's a great time for that introspection and really what you want to focus on for yourself and your body. Another thing we have to focus on is exercise. And I have a joke with my best friend, Tammy, because I'm always talking about exercise and somehow that's just stuck. And now everybody's asking me, hey, are you going to talk this time about exercise? But we cannot forget to exercise with our MS. In fact, that's one of the most important things that we can do. No matter where you are in your own journey with MS, whether you can just lift some free weights or do some stretching or Pilates or, even if you want to do something that's, very low impact, get into some water therapy, it will be a great benefit to you. Not only is it going to help your muscles and your muscles tones, it's going to help keep you strong. So no matter what's going on with your legs or your arms or your back, you have that base. Your core is going to be stronger and it's going to be able to support your body. Now, when you're working out, I really want you to be mindful, especially if you're working out with a trainer, because historically what has happened, anytime I worked out with a trainer, they were not familiar with MS. So what's the first thing they do? They get you on the treadmill. They want you walking or running or on the bike. And what would happen oftentimes is that my legs would start going numb and tingling. My feet would be burning or tingly as well. And that's just awful. They also, a lot of the trainers were not familiar with our overheating issues. So that is something that if you are going to work out with a trainer, make sure they know what MS means. Not that they're going to push you, not that they're going to have you doing the things that are going to give you that numbness and tingling and that whole sensation in our legs, which is just awful. So just focus on that. Now, that being said, now that I'm healthy and healed, I can run, I can walk, I can do all these things, and the heat does not bother me. So just know if you are in the process of healing, if you're in the process of repairing, you do the things that your body will allow you to do. Always listen to your body. If it's telling you need to rest, then rest. If it's telling you you need to stretch more, then stretch. If something you're doing working out isn't working for you, whether it's yoga, Pilates, whatever you're choosing to do, just listen to your body. And day by day, as you get stronger, you can really see what's going to help you the most. Now, when we're talking about all these different ways to heal, we also need to focus on what we eat, because that's so important. Now, I don't eat any special foods or special diet, if you will. We have a lot of diets that are helping people with MS. We have the Walls Protocol, we have the Swank diet, which has over 50 years of research backing that, and people are having phenomenal results with that. I just use an organic diet, I would say, as much as possible. And when we're looking at an organic diet, that's not going to have all the pesticides and the chemicals or any genetically modified foods, which we have to, as MS sufferers, be especially mindful of, because the toxins and the pesticides and the chemicals that are in these foods will cross right over the blood-brain barrier, go right to our central nervous system, and we can have challenges right away. When we start to think about label reading, some additives that we have to totally avoid, like the plague, and I don't say this lightly to everybody out there, we have to avoid aspartame and especially MSG. In fact, both of those food additives, aspartame and MSG, can cause us to have an immediate flare-up. And I don't know if any of you out there have ever had Chinese food, or you've eaten something that had MSG or aspartame in it and your head kind of started bothering you. Well, I've had that happen, even sometimes when I've been trying to eat healthy, even being out, eating out, and I know I had something with MSG, my head just didn't feel right. You can kind of tell. Well, that's a reaction from your body. So really be mindful of MSG and aspartame, and really all food additives like that, but those two in particular can really cause you to start having symptoms. You also want to, when I'm saying focus on a diet with organic foods, you want to look for non-GMO. And when you're looking at labels, and you have to become an avid label reader now to just have a healthy lifestyle, because they have so many cheap additives. You're going to see soy in every food possible now, and it's not healthy soy. And I just avoid soy as well, because it is now a cheap additive, and it's also in everything. And we don't want to be eating any hormone disruptors or anything that's going to tax our body, our immune system, and so stay away from soy as well. Now, some people will say they like organic or fermented soy products. So if you like those, then definitely stay with organic or fermented soy. But again, I avoid all soy. Now, when we're talking about going organic or eating a healthier diet, you need to know about label reading. You have to be an avid label reader for your health. When you're looking on fruits and vegetables, know what some of the numbers are. 9 is organic, that's great. Always go with the 9s, the labels that start with the 9. Now, when you look at them, look at a 3 or a 4, 3 or a 4 means that it's conventionally grown. That means it could have pesticides and herbicides, and it could have sewage sludge in it, in the water, and things like that. So stay away from those 3 and 4. And now another label, and I've only seen it at a couple of grocery stores. I'm starting to see 8, the number 8 on some of the labels, and that means it's GMO. That means that it's straight out of, the lab. It is genetically modified food, and we want to avoid that as well. And the great news is we have plenty of healthy foods available for us. We have plenty of choices available for us. But remember, look for a diet, anti-inflammatory, organic fruits and veggies, lots of greens, things that are going to support our immune system, things that are going to support our central nervous system. Stay away from the number 8. Just say number 8. You hate 8, if that's going to help you. 3 or 4 is conventionally grown. We want to stay away from that. 9 is going to be where you want to stay. Any of those labels that start with a 9 are going to be a benefit to you. So when we're also talking about our bodies and a whole body approach to healing, we've talked today a little bit about the supplements and the alternative therapies. We also need to talk about environmental toxins, and that is something that we also have to be mindful of. And remember, I was talking about in the beginning of this broadcast that we have to look at what we eat, what we absorb, what we breathe in. We, especially when I'm talking about absorb, the things that are absorbed into our skin, our largest organ, right? Automatically it gets absorbed into our skin. It's going throughout our body. So we have to look at personal care products. Make sure they're organic. Make sure they don't have all those extra fillers in it. We also have to, again, be a great label reader. Stay away from SLS. Stay away from toxins that are listed on the labels. When we talk about parabens, okay, look at things like that. We also have to look at what kind of water we're drinking. Is it pH alkaline water? Is it hydrogenated water, which I drink as well? Or is it bottled water? We know bottled water has all kinds of problems. Now they're having bottles that are BPA free, but there's also other chemicals in bottled water. You can check on the EWG, Environmental Working Group's website, and see they have the best bottled waters to the worst bottled waters on there. If you do have to drink bottled water, you really have to look at staying away from tap water. Tap water is filled with fluoride, at least in the Chicagoland area, and lead. And as we know about Flint, Michigan, the lead in the water problem, it's horrible, and we have to be mindful of that. Remember, all these chemicals, fluoride, lead, mercury, things like that, are going to go right through the blood-brain barrier, right to our head, destroying our central nervous system, compromising our immune system. So we really have to focus on healthier choices. And the great thing is, you can find all these healthier choices. We have so many options, grocery stores, health food stores, and Amazon, all these different places where we can find these things that are going to help us live a healthier lifestyle. Now, in my home, I have air purifiers. I've had air purifiers in here since 2001. We have a pH alkaline water machine. We even have a product that washes our clothes without the detergents, fabric softeners, even bleaches, or hot water. And that has been a lifesaver lifesaver for me and my family, not only because of the MS, not absorbing those toxins, but because my son has severe allergies. And so that has also been something that has really helped us. So remember, look in your home, look for what toxins are in your home, and start switching things out. Personal care products, start switching things out day by day. You don't have to decide you're going to just jump in and be so overwhelmed that you can't keep up with things. Just start making healthier choices. Just start making healthier choices for your family. A few foods here, add some spinach salads, eat more broccoli, add a few more fruits in your diet. When you're looking at your personal care products, start, having healthier deodorant without aluminum. Start looking at your products, make sure they have SLS and fluoride free. Again, these are toxins that we don't want in our bodies. When you're looking at your food, look at those labels. Remember, 9 is best. 9 is best for the organic, and stay away from the 8. Anything with the 8 is genetically modified. I hope you can take some of the nuggets of information that I gave you today and really focus on your healing. And again, do this day by day. You're all in here to find out more information, to find different ways of dealing with your own MS journey. And I hope that you can check in with us each and every week. We're going to have different speakers. We're going to talk about the different MS diets. We're going to talk about healthy living and just ways that you can be the best you while living with this journey with MS. I want to thank you. And again, check out my book at wakingupfromms.com, My Journey to Health, Healing, and Living Symptom-Free on Amazon. You can also connect with me on Facebook or on Twitter. I would love to hear your story and hear about your own journey with MS. God bless.